I have to say, let's do it. We only briefly touched on it. Obviously, that inspired move is bonkers. Because here's the problem with that move, Yamato. So, to me, I am very shocked by this. I thought there was only two options for inspired. You either just re-up with FlyQuest and rebuild a squad around yourself there and stay in the same spot with most of the same teammates, same coaches if you can. Or, to me, you do the move that was implied. Like you come to Europe and you go to like a Fnatic and you try and battle G2 and you try and see if the European team can be the best one. This move to me is completely out of left field. So, first of all, the org he's going to, like Lion or Leon or whatever, that's not some historically giant org. Obviously, that's one that to us, who are Western European, that's fairly irrelevant. We barely know anything about them. Then, secondly, right now, it's not yet confirmed what the full roster is. Like some of the other players they already have are just like, I mean, they seem like they're all right players. The rumor is they get some cracked out bot lane. That's what people say. That's why he's doing. What do you think of this? Because it implies to me, I have to say, this story to me sounds like one, this org just did some amazing presentation to Inspired. It sounds like that, first of all, and they've gotten him to buy in. But two, it sounds to me like he actually does just behind the scenes super heavy fuck with some of the players they're getting. And he just thinks that even though to me and you it might be like an underwhelming list of names, he's acting like it's going to be the best team of his career or something. What do you think of this? I was very shocked by this, Yamato.
I think Inspired as a player definitely could be like an upgrade for so many teams. It's just like this off season is so poorly timed for him. Like considering like the top teams in Europe, they don't have like a big reason to move jungle wise because we have Yikes, Cumont, Elioya, like Fnatic as an organization. Like I mentioned it before, but they just don't have like a lot of pull right now in terms of money or pedigree or even like roster building, especially after they lost Mickey. Like if they kept Mickey, Vladi, and then Inspired, maybe there would be some pull here because he could actually envision a world where he could compete in the region. But he probably knew that Busio is in conversation with Casey and leaving FlyQuest, so he saw the writing on the wall. And I wonder, like the main question for me, what this signaled to me was that Team Liquid, it's like, even though there's been so much talk about River, joining the military, like looking at the age that he's at, like it's something that they can, there's workarounds, I think. At least historically, that's been the precedent. So I don't want to speak out of turn because obviously I'm not like a lawyer, versed in like conscription laws, like as that's not what I'm versed in. But considering Team Liquid, like they didn't go for Team Liquid, kind of implies to me that they kind of have kept together the River Quid dynamic. That's my guess because I don't see who else they would get there. And then you think then about the options. What was explained to me is that the Lion as an organization, their ownership group is extremely rich, like extremely rich, and they are making some big moves. It's like Saint as a player, I think is super cool, but the ADC position, what has been rumored, is Smash or Berserker. And the last time I read was that Smash is the number one the number one candidate, that is like a thing that could happen, is likely to happen. And then it's kind of like clean. That's pretty damn interesting. You slot in like an Impact or a Dokla into that roster, and suddenly, that's one of those like cooking rosters where Inspired like finds a way to like win a championship, like he's done in the past with your EGs and your FlyQuest. So I think like the money was probably a big pool, and I think he just assessed like these are the rosters that I can actively win with. There's nothing available for me right now in this off season, which is unfortunate. That I'm just gonna go for the big bag.
Wait, the Smash one is exciting because I have to say one thing I also hate about how T1 fans have gaslit everyone this year is that whack narrative that they all made that the Smash guy wasn't good and that somehow like Koma betrayed Gumayushi by fielding Smash. Bro, Smash was better at the beginning of the year and he deserved those. In fact, it wasn't until basically he had like some minor failures that he got replaced. Like I actually think, put it this way. You know how you said about how people judged Porby based on his time in T1? Mate, if you're judging Smash on his time in T1, it's a way more favourable one. Like, this guy could walk into most Western teams, in my opinion. He looked really good. And he was everything he wanted in a young ADC, like young, aggressive, fucking goes balls to plays all the mega carry champion. He's a sick player. I would love to see this guy play with Inspired, yeah.
It's like interesting because Smash has experience working with an English-speaking support. which is
underrated.
like it's a very
That is
crazy
underrated.
connection.
Yeah,
That's a crazy connection, and I think that goes a long way. You know, like figuring out a way to work together with your support is a very important detail, and he has that already in his back pocket. Like Smash would be an insane signing, and then you just have to plug and play like the usual North American suspects in the other positions, but like Inspired as someone that worked with Impact in the past, and like I can imagine that he would want someone that is just stable top. If Impact wants to keep playing, that would be the place to do so. So there is a world where it shapes up to be super interesting. I guess something that we can add as well, like it was pretty sad to read the news from C9 in regards to Loki, that he basically
that was a bummer.
Basically, to loop everybody in that is listening, is just he basically just needs to step away from playing in North America due to personal and family reasons, which is obviously like a very, very sad way to discontinue a partnership. Because I do think that Loki was like the most interesting player on the C9 roster.
Very good, yeah,
super interesting. So I hope the guy lands on his feet and doesn't have to like sacrifice his career for obviously reasons that are super important to him.
Another player I also hoped would. I hope him and Thanatos eventually go back to LCK and play in a proper team. And I don't mean like Berserker, where you go to one of the worst teams and you want to. I mean, they could actually be like relevant players, mate. They could be on real teams, yeah. Especially Thanatos. I think one day he could be on like a D plus or a KT or something. He's a legit player. No, I agree. That's a bummer.
Thanatos is such a strange player, because like. I never watched CL, but I always hear like the noise from CL, and Thanatos was always like the guy that everyone was like, "Oh, damn, this is the real dude." And I think that regionally he also did super well, but it was just about like some of those playoff games that just stick with you. It's like if you can't do it in the playoff games, like that is something that is really leaves a stench, because it's like, bro, I remember him getting solo killed by Fudge. I remember him getting solo killed by Castle in those playoff games. And I think if he played as good as he did in the regular season, he carries those games. But he just didn't. And if C9 continue with Thanatos, I'm really like, it's such the idea that Dom joined this team full time. Is going to be so damn hype. Allegedly, apparently, I don't know if it's announced or not. Who cares? Like, it's the sheep said it. It's the truth. That's just how it works,
What you mean, Dom being announced joining?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, he already said it on his stream. If people don't know, at the end of his world stream, he already said basically, like, I'm going away for a couple of months now, and then next year I won't be a full-time streamer. I'm going to be the like full-on coach, because he's going to be in NA, and then also that he's going to do just like streaming. I think, listen, because he's Dom, he did still say, I'll still do like 15, 20 hours a week of streaming or whatever. But that's not full-time. The point is that he's not going to set his alarm and get up for LPL every day, I'm imagining.
Yeah.
That's what he means. He means it's going to be a vaguely normal lifestyle, whereas instead, this is like he's finished doing 2 tours of Vietnam, mate.
More cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.